It is the end of the season edition of the Bark Tank presented by Sugardale. Hello, friends. Browns win. They beat the Bengals 20-18. Hi, it's Andrew Siciliano. Today in the Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea, a winning edition, but also an edition in which we sit here shortly after Kevin Stefanski was dismissed as head coach after 6 seasons. So this podcast, and we thank you for being here as always. Happy New Year to you, by the way, a couple of days late, even though I know that I've officially crossed the Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm deadline for saying Happy New Year. We're going to do two things in this edition. We're going to talk about Myles Garrett, the win. Andre Schmidt is going to join us, the Browns kicker, with a great walk-off. What a story he wrote. Week 1, you know what happened against the Bengals. Week 18, you saw Sunday what happened in Cincinnati to beat the Bengals. Andre Schmidt will be here. Also, Andrew Berry will be here for a couple of minutes as well. He joined us shortly after he was on the podium discussing the dismissal of Kevin Stefanski. Not trying to ignore that. We're going to get to that. Let's focus on the game and Myles Garrett first. What you heard from me and Nathan coming out was like, oh my God, thank God he got it. And I saw Myles today. Talked to him for a couple of minutes. He had the same feeling, like, oh my God, thank God we got him. And if you go to clevelandbrowns.com and you listen to Myles, who was mic'd up during the sack, he kind of had that feeling as well. What a moment that was to have him do it against Joe Burrow, against whom he has the most sacks in his career now, 12. He had 11 tied with Lamar Jackson coming in, was special. To do it in a division game was special. But the most important thing for Myles Garrett there was the fact that he did it in a win. And the fact that the Browns closed out with 2 division wins. 15 days ago, we're talking about, 9 days ago, we're talking about the fact that the Browns had yet to win a division game and what that meant and how bad that is. Not good. But not only veterans on this team, but rookies on this team can head to the offseason knowing you got 2 huge wins over 2 division rivals, one of which obviously meant a lot. The game against the Steelers kept them out of the playoffs. They subsequently have made the postseason by beating the Ravens. But the other one against a Bengals team that honestly not only had a lot to play for, don't push back, believe me, they want to win, they're angry. That's not a happy place right now. But it ticked them off in a litany of ways. It ticked them off that they lost. It ticked them off that Shedeur drove down the field. And it ticked them off that they stopped the game when Myles got the record, 23 sacks. I would say, I hear it, guys. You guys were driving, meaning the Bengals, 5 minutes to go. But come on. Let the guy have his moment. I think deep down inside, Joe Burrow is probably happy for Myles that he had his moment. At the same time, I understand why he was kind of upset. The moment was amazing. I didn't think he was going to get it, like I said, because, look, Myles, that was the most snaps he had played the entire season. It was top 10 most snaps he's played in any game as a Brown since being the number 1 overall pick since 2017. And like half of those games were overtime games. So he was out there. He was gassed, clearly. But it kind of actually worked to the Browns' favor that the Bengals had to throw, that they had to go to the air and they had to march down the field because that was not the game plan. They were going to run the ball through and they had to. But then both Tyson Campbell and Denzel Ward went out with injuries. And by the way, I spoke to Denzel today, a little neck thing, he's fine. No big deal. Denzel's going to be fine. And they decided, hey, it's Sam Webb and D'Angelo Ross out there. We're going to throw at them. And Sam Webb had a touchdown earlier. D'Angelo Ross pressed into action, usually a special teams guy. Joe Burrow was going to throw, and that meant Myles was going to get the sack. And I was thrilled that he did, because what you just saw was the greatest defensive player in Browns history putting together what could be argued, actually I will argue it, is the greatest single-season defensive effort in NFL history. J.J. Watt had an amazing year. J.J. Watt set the all-time TFL record with 39. But Myles Garrett has 23 sacks and more than 30 TFLs. Only 2 players have ever recorded, 30 TFLs in a season. TJ and Myles. You throw in the single-season sack record. Yes, I know it happened in Week 18 in Game 17. I could not care less. He got the record. It's his to hold, and you know what? It's his to break. Would not surprise me if he could break it next year. Just relieved he got it. Relieved that his parents, Lawrence and Audrey, were there. And then what a scene, like being carried off the field, getting the game ball. There was a cake today at the Cross Country Mortgage campus that Mike Hall brought in. Who doesn't love cake? Myles celebrated with ice cream. Told me cookies and cream and strawberry. If you were wondering, kind of an odd mix, but I'm a huge cookies and cream fan. Just saying, huge. But the king of the monsters was able to get his sack. Great as well that Andre Schmidt did his thing. And I think it was also pretty cool that Shedeur Sanders made a closing argument there on that final drive. He struggled. He told you. Nothing to hide there. He certainly struggled. But at the end, when you had to drive your team down the field and get in position for the game-winning kick, he nailed said kick. What more do you want? What more do you want? You play winning football. I know what you want. You want 3/4 of winning, like getting in the end zone football. I totally understand that. I'm not here as an excuse maker. I think you guys have realized that. Hopefully you have most of the season, especially when it comes to the quarterback position. But it's something to build on. We're going to ask Andrew Berry about his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders in the offseason as well, coming up in just a bit. Also from that game, you see how valuable Carson Swessinger and Harold Fandon truly are. I mean, you knew that. Without them, different team out there, especially on offense without Harold Fandon. On defense, you have to love the way that Devin Bush stepped up. What a year he has had. 97-yard pick six, his second pick six of the year. Sam Webb, a 47-yard scoop and score, his first career NFL touchdown. He said he had a return touchdown in college, but this was the first, obviously, NFL touchdown for him. Grant Delpit comes up huge with the sack. I thought Grant Delpit was great on the podium today in his final remarks as well. And a word of appreciation for Joel Bitonio. His 178th career start, perhaps his last. He got a little teary-eyed today, got a little emotional when he was on the podium. Always a stand-up guy there talking with the media about how much he loved Kevin Stefanski. He said that, yes, it would factor in his decision. Obviously, there's a new head coach. He's got to decide, A, if he wants to play, and B, if he wants to come back and play for that new head coach. That's not sugarcoating anything. That's just reality. But when asked, how do you want fans to remember you, if this is the end, Joel got teary-eyed. And Joel talked about just being a guy that showed up for work every day and played his heart out. And I know that Northeast Ohio, I know the Browns fans, Browns backers all over the world see that and feel that. I wish you were there, and I wish you could watch that video. Hopefully you can on clevelandbrowns.com and see the emotion that Joel has right here, because he is that guy through thick and through thin, through bad backs and through God knows what other list of injuries. Joel Bitonio has always showed up for this football team, and 9 times out of 10 played at an exceedingly high level. He's a Pro Bowler for a reason. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. Let's get to Andre Schmidt, and then I want to give you some final thoughts here on Kevin Stefanski. I'm fairly certain this is the first repeat guest on the Bark Tank this year, because once again, Andre Schmidt hit a walk-off winner. He did it to beat the Packers in September. He does it to beat the Bengals in January on the road. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Where's the game ball?
In my locker.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll take it home with the others and the jerseys in there too.
How good that feel?
Feels good. Feels good. Full circle moment. To end the season on that note feels great. Do with the guys. You don't know who you're going to be with next year, and it could be a completely different team, but to end on a high note and do it for the guys and just come together, it feels amazing.
Have you ever been carried around on shoulders like that?
I don't think I have. No, first time.
How'd that feel? What's the view like from on top of your teammates' shoulders?
Intimidating.
Really?
You just don't know what to do. You're kind of just like perched up there.
You're like, don't drop me?
Yeah. I saw Corey, and we didn't get a chance to celebrate right after because Rex kind of grabbed me right away, and I saw Corey and kind of tried to celebrate in the moment and just be with the guys. It was a great time.
There was a little bit of, calling it, and the TV broadcast had the same thing. Like, it's up, it's good, but at the same time, there's a flag. Mm-hmm. Did you know immediately that it was on the Bengals for leverage?
No, I didn't know originally. I kicked the ball, and I looked up, and I see it going on target, and then I see a flag like out the corner of my eye, and I was like, wait, don't celebrate, don't celebrate. I don't know what it is, because in case I have to re-kick it, like, I don't want to be not in the flow state or the process, kind of still be locked in to have to kick it again if I have to. But then I think everyone started celebrating again, and then I kind of realized it was on them.
And then you figured it out. So it was a 49-yard field goal. Kevin said that everyone on the sideline knew. Myles said the same thing. Everyone on the sideline knew that kick was going in. partly because I think you had two 48-yard extra points earlier. Like nothing was easy in this thing. Do you walk out there going, this is just an extra point?
So when it's like a change of possession like that in the first place, like I'm on the bench and like I have my helmet off, like I'm not in the net getting kicks up. So it's kind of a jarring position change and kind of got to lock in quickly. So when I'm running out there and I'm just trying to get a couple of swings, get my leg loose, and then I see that they're backing us up, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, just hit it clean. Just hit a clean ball, and like 9 times out of 10 you'll be okay. So I just did that and stayed true to my process and tried to not freak out in the moment.
Did any part of you want to celebrate like Devin and Sam did?
Should have at the end of the game.
Did you think of that?
No, I didn't think of it. No.
I mean, the game's over at that point. They're not going to throw a flag.
Right. Yeah, no, I should have.
Do they, joking aside, do they come over and apologize? Like, hey, sorry, dude.
I think a couple guys, might have been like, hey, like sorry about what we did, but it's all fun and games. And at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. So
you talk about the full circle moment, and Kevin said that as well, that you couldn't write this story. Was there a moment on the plane, or was there a moment when you got home last night when you allowed yourself to contemplate the journey all the way from week 1? It's the Bengals again. Mm-hmm. And then here you are, and you wrote an amazing ending to that story.
Yeah, I sat next to Blake on the flight back, and we were kind of talking about it. And I sat with him on the flight week 2 going to Baltimore. And then we kind of talked, and he probably saw me in my notes, kind of stressing, writing my thoughts down. He's like, hey, man, like God has a plan for you. Like, it's a long season. Like, you're meant to have these trials and tribulations so that you can come out better on the other side. And we were just talking about it on the flight back yesterday, like, wow. Like, I remember week 2 sitting in the same seat, 10A, and being like stressed about, potentially losing my job. Like, feel like my job's on the line week 2. But like you said, I'm so thankful for everybody that allowed me to be in this position that I'm in. Kevin, AB, Bubba, the entire protection, Corey, Rex, like I couldn't do it without those guys, and I'm so appreciative for everybody for keeping me around here, and I really have to tip my hat to them because I owe them everything.
Kevin obviously was let go this morning. Kevin was one of those who stood by you, was adamant that he knew you, he trusted you, he saw how hard you worked, he saw how well you kicked in practice, and he believed in Andre Schmidt, the person. What did Kevin standing by you, personally, Kevin, mean? And what are your thoughts on obviously seeing him go and what he has meant to everyone here?
I can't even put into words how much it means to me. Honestly, actually a very emotional morning. I mean, taking a couple years to break into the NFL and finally have a guy to trust you like that, and especially after what you go through week 1, really means a lot that he stuck with me. And it's been a tough morning for sure because I owe him everything. And I sent him a text that I was just couldn't even put into words how appreciative I am of him and everything he's done for me.
Have you had a moment with him face-to-face this morning?
I didn't get a chance to, not this morning.
Okay, but certainly he's a guy that's always going to be in your corner.
100%, always.
And this building was, this team was, and I know that this city, I can guarantee you. I mean, people love Andre Schmidt. What has your year, now that it's over, been like in Cleveland, considering it was a bit of a roller coaster?
Yeah, I think a roller coaster is a great way to put it, but also just like a huge, like, maturing. Like, I think I've aged 5 years in an 18-week season, but it really does feel like that. Like, I mean, with everything going on in the personal life in the beginning of the year, everything felt like it was moving 100 miles an hour, and then just kind of finally like getting into a rhythm and getting into a groove and settling into it and realizing, hey, like I'm still just kicking a ball. Like it's the NFL, UFL, college. Like, of course there are higher stakes and it's my job now, but not making it more than what it is, and kind of really trying to believe like that, and also like believing in myself, and like I mentioned earlier, leaning into faith and everything that like I know I'm meant to be here, and like this is an opportunity for me to go out and show that. And so not stressing about it too much, but just being able to go out and just do. It's
amazing. Final thing, I promise. As a kicker, can you settle something for me? Is there such a thing as a broadcaster jinx of a kicker?
I've seen these videos. I don't know. I don't really believe it. I don't really believe in it.
I don't either. And like everyone says, don't jinx it. And I wanted to say, and I have said a couple of times, Andre's missed only 2 kicks since week 1.
Yeah.
You had the long one in Detroit, right?
That's right.
And you had the one in New England. That was it.
Yeah.
And I was, because I don't believe in it either, and I did not want to say that as you came out there, because I'm like, they were going to give me crap if I said it, and then you missed it.
You should have said that I could beat the odds.
Well, I could have. Yeah, in retrospect, I should have said, there's no such thing as broadcaster jinx. Again, Andre's missed only twice since week 1, and bam, you nailed it. All right. All right, something to remember next year.
No
Andre.
jinx. Oh, maybe don't jinx.
No, okay, I'm not going to. No. I'll do it in another game, not your game.
Yeah, good.
Andre, have a great offseason.
Yeah,
man.
thank you. Appreciate it.
I love that guy. Love him. And we didn't tell the story there. Nathan and Andre, and I wish I had brought it up. Nathan Zuger, obviously my partner in the booth. Nathan and Andre and I were walking into the stadium before the game in Cincinnati. And Andre, go check out the photos online, is wearing like this black ski cap and this badass jacket and these black slacks and these loafers. I mean, he looked like he was about to head to Fashion Week with Denzel and Grant Delpit in Paris. Okay? That's Andre Schmidt. And we are giving him some grief about his outfit. And then he went out there and he was that guy. He's got a swagger to him that I think came through a little bit there, but at his heart, he is a faith-driven, humble, hard-working guy. And it is awesome that his story ended the way it did in 2018. And I want you to listen as well to what he said there about Kevin Stefanski, because that's the way a lot of people feel in this building. And Andrew Berry said it on the podium, how Kevin's family. And look, I have covered this league for a long, long time. It's my 30th season covering this league. There are times when coaches are fired where people are happy. People are thrilled. Players are like, thank God that guy's out of here. That's not the case in any way, shape, or form. Everyone knows, though, this team has had to win more football games than 8 the last 2 years without change coming. And change came. Kevin Stefanski is a good man. He's a funnier guy than maybe you'll see or you did see on the podium or with a microphone in his face. He's got jokes. He's a big baseball fan. He's a movie guy. He's a guy. And if you had the chance to spend time with him, as I've been very fortunate, as Nathan, as all of us here have been very fortunate to have, for me, the last 2 years, but in the building a little bit as well in 2023, and at league meetings and at other events as well. I promise you would love Kevin Stefanski. Promise you would. And that's what everyone feels here today. The disappointment that it didn't work, but at the same time, the love and respect for a guy that you know is going to go somewhere else and have success. Because he's a good coach. But at the same time, you understand sometimes why decisions are made. I want to tell you a quick story. So, actually, I don't know that I've ever told this story. In 2023, I left NFL Network after 14 years. And obviously, I knew Kevin. I'd done a couple of games filling in for Jim in 2023 during that playoff season. But Kevin and I didn't have each other's phone numbers, anything like that. So I got let go from NFL Network. My phone's blowing up. I'm sitting there having lunch with a friend, and I see a phone number on my phone that I didn't recognize. I think it's spam. I send it to voicemail. Anyway, long story short, I'm driving home from lunch, and I listen to the message. He probably doesn't like that I'm telling this story, but I'll tell the story. And it was Kevin. He sought out my phone number. Asked around, got my phone number so that he could call and say, hey man, better days are coming. Survive in advance. Everybody loves you. Keep going, keep pushing. And I was thinking about that today. There are 1 million people that feel the same way about him. And I know he's going to land on his feet, and I wish him nothing but the best. Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, joining us in the Bark Tank. AB, you said it on the podium. You and I had the conversation earlier as well. Considering Kevin is, in your words, family, how difficult have the last 24 hours been?
They've been incredibly difficult, Andrew. Kevin is pure-hearted, awesome person. And then when you layer in everything that he's done for the organization, it makes today a very, very difficult day. But these are also some of the hard decisions that we have to make if we're going to advance the organization forward. But that doesn't change my personal affinity for him.
It's always been a "what have you done for me lately" business. That's the way the NFL goes. Organizationally, how do you weigh the first 4 years with the past 2 in making this decision?
The past 2 years we haven't won enough, and I own that. And as we're in this period of transition, as we're trying to rebuild the roster core, our whole focus is making sure we can take the steps necessary to build a perennial winner.
What does Andrew Berry look for in a new head coach? You're going to do interviews, you're going to sit down, you're going to cast a wide net, I would have to assume. Mm-hmm. When you sit down across the table from a candidate, what do you want to hear and see?
Yeah, so it's first and foremost a leadership position, and it's a leadership of a number of different constituencies: the players, the assistant coaches, the support staff, the organization during times of crisis. And so you're looking for someone who has that level of leadership range. And then secondly, it's a partnership. It's a partnership with ownership, with the front office, with the general manager, and because you're really building the team and building the organization together.
It's a relationship. It's funny you use that word. Obviously it is, but I've heard others in the past describe interviewing a candidate as kind of like dating. Like you know in a minute or two, you get a feel like, all right, this is the one. Would you draw that parallel?
I personally would not.
Okay.
And the reason I wouldn't is because we've often looked at like hiring hygiene, and oftentimes
what does that mean, hiring hygiene?
Like good process with hiring, and oftentimes the interview can be overweighted when you're making those decisions. That's not to say that it's not important, but it's maybe a little bit like what we do with players, where our scouts, they go out and they talk to everyone who's worked with them, knows them intimately, things like that. We get 15 minutes at the combine. We may get another a day at a site visit and everything like that. And some of the mistakes that you can make with the makeup are if, hey, they had the flu that day, or they're really energetic or really charismatic, but that doesn't actually get to the essence of their character. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's a lot more of the information that we collect in the aggregate than just solely the interview.
How will the quarterback question affect the head coaching search?
Well, it's certainly something that we're going to talk about a lot with the candidates, but it's maybe a little bit less on their particular view of the quarterback situation, mm-hmm. and more about their thoughts and planning for it.
And what would you? I know you mentioned Shedeur up on the side, on the podium rather. What would you like to see his offseason look like, and what have you seen these last 7 weeks building towards 2026?
I'd like to see him continue to make progress. He got valuable reps this year, starting 7 games. I think he's got to continue to make progress with his pocket management, his situational awareness, things like that. But you'd like to see him take a major step forward going into week 1.
During the game in Cincinnati, Nathan and I, before that final drive, said this is kind of Shedeur's closing argument, mm-hmm. if you will, for 2026. Mm-hmm. How did you view it?
Yeah, I thought it was a great.
I'm sorry, for 2025.
Yeah, I thought it was a great situation for him to be in, because you look in a game where he was scuffling. It wasn't one of his stronger games, certainly early on. It's like, hey, can we get settled and get the team in scoring position to win the game? And he was able to do that. And I think, look, you're not always going to have your fastball every week in the NFL. It's too hard. Defenses are too good. But the fact that he was able to do that and lead us on a scoring drive when we absolutely needed it, certainly a positive. Finally,
you have a timetable in your head. I know you're going to find the right guy. That's the most important thing. But realistically, would you like to have something done before Mobile, before the Combine? What does that look like?
I mean, yeah, I guess in a vacuum you'd like to have
Combine, certainly, obviously.
But I'd say this. To me, it's more about hiring process and hiring the right person than the timing. I think you think about Indianapolis a couple years ago, where they thought they were hiring Josh McDaniels. That changed at the last minute. They pivot to Frank Wright. I think that happened right at the Combine. I think they went and won 11 games that year because they found the right individual. So we're not going to be bound by artificial time barriers. Obviously, you'd like to have adequate lead-up time into some of the league events, but if we don't, it's more important to find the right person.
I lied. Last thing. Message to the fans would be what?
My message to the fans is we know how difficult this year has been, and we appreciate the loyalty, the passion, the commitment to the team, regardless of what we're going through, and that's something we will never take for granted. My commitment to you all is to make sure that we find the right leader and build the right roster that allows us to have perennial success.
Andrew Berry, thanks for jumping in the Bark Tank.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew Berry, GM of the Cleveland Browns. If you're looking ahead to the draft, the third Thursday in August, and there are a lot of steps on the, as we call it, path to the draft. There is Mobile, there's the Senior Bowl, there's the East-West game as well. That is played in Dallas. And then obviously the Combine right after the Olympics at the end of February. You get it. You've been through this before. The Browns will be picking 6th. That's their pick. Then they also have the Jaguars pick, which right now we don't know where that is going to be. The best case scenario is it's 23. It could be anywhere between 23 and 32. If the Jaguars lose on Wild Card Weekend, the best the pick can be is 23. Now, that's only if the Patriots also lose. If the Jaguars lose and the Patriots win on Wild Card Weekend, the pick will be 24. So the Browns have those 2 picks. You see what they do with it, and you try to build the rest of this roster. We're going to be here as the Bark Tank transitions into Best Pod Available. Gabe, we're doing Best Pod Available, right? If not, Gabe's going to cut this out. It's okay. And Gibbe and I will be taking you on that path to the draft. Just on a personal note here, thanks for listening and watching this show every single week. Thanks to the aforementioned Gabe Kalor standing off camera right now, who put it all together, tirelessly juggling a million balls as he always does with all his other responsibilities here in Berea. And I want to thank the fans for sticking with this team. AB just had that message. My personal message is, like, we're with you. Like, Nathan and I, truly, and Gerard are with you every single day. So thank you for listening to our broadcast. We try to shoot straight with you. At times you can't sugarcoat it. And at times those wins probably sound a little bit too excited from us because we're as happy as you are. Right? Like, this team made the playoffs 24 months ago. 24 months ago, this team was getting ready for the Houston Texans. I have no doubt that this team can do that. There were 3 teams that were in last place last year. 2024 finished in last and ended up making the playoffs. There are 2 teams picking in the top 5 last year that ended up making the playoffs. The Browns finished in last, they picked 6th. This team can do it next year. And when it happens, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. And yeah, I do have that faith because I'm the Sunday morning optimist, and I wake up every day, every week thinking that A, it's going to be a win, and B, it's going to lead this team on a path to where it needs to be and where you deserve it to be. So, yeah, I'm that guy. Thank you for welcoming me and Nathan and Gerard into your homes, your cars, your headphones, wherever you're taking in our broadcast every single week. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be grinding just like everyone here is to get this right. We will talk to you soon. This has been the Bark Tank, everybody, presented by Sugardale. My name is Andrew Siciliano. So long.